You'll see the icon. Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's us coming back at you again with another live hangout podcast. Beyond the Kayfabe channel is back. We apologize for the long hiatus, which is only about
Oh
five,
yeah,
6 months. But we are
five
back.
six.
We're going to be, we are back with my co-host Elias. We're going to go
Yes.
back, go at it with a full force. I guarantee you guys this. We're going to be very, very, very consistent with our uploads, with our weekly podcast and our video uploads when it comes to the main shows, and of course the Raw and SmackDown shows as well.
Yes.
So,
How you been, Daniel MS? It's been a little while.
oh, it's been a long, 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 long time, man. Long, long time. Yeah, just just because we've been away for a while, I've been away. I still kept up with the sport, with the sport, sports entertainment of wrestling for
Yeah.
kept up with it, kept up with the news and updates, still kept up with the shows, whatnot on the other side of things. Of course, you have other things going on, getting a new job as a hiring manager, that keeps you more busy because you got to keep
Yeah.
the staff levels intact, the employees intact, make sure they're paid properly,
The
all that
manager.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Life as a
The
manager,
Vince, the
man.
Vince McMahon. Take the Vince McMahon
Ah.
example.
I am the Vince McMahon of on my side of my line of work, but not exactly because I don't own the business. So, well, technically, Vince don't own his business either anymore. He is a publicly traded
Right.
company, so
He
he
does
has
have
to
over
answer.
$2 billion, but we're climbing that ladder. We're climbing that ladder towards. I don't know how much money he needs now with this Fox deal.
Well, I don't think he needs it. It's just that the more you get, the more you want. I mean, that's how it is. As soon as you get more, you want more. It's just the mentality of a human being. A very
Yeah. Oh
deserving
yeah.
mentality. Something to drink. I mean, look, I understand in one sense that it's never you can never go by the fact that it's no such thing as not having enough. I know some people like to toe that line, but in some cases it is. It's like, well, you have enough. What more do you want? you know,
I
I guess.
well, he now it's for the business now. I mean, basically, they're the top dog. They're not just the top dog. That's the only place to go. I mean, where are these stars? Where are these Brock Lesnar's going to go if they're not over their UFC or home?
Yeah, that's
So
true.
they've really WWE really has the leverage now with this Fox deal, and um, don't know why it makes sense for them to pay top dollar for a guy like Brock Lesnar anymore. Because what I'm hearing is he's gonna ask for more money, even more money for his next contract. Rumors are he gets
uh,
about eight million a year for like
well,
those 10
he's not
appearances.
going to be the only one. I would assume as soon as these A-list Raw guys or contracts are going to be up, ready for renewal, they're going to ask for more money. Given the fact that news is broke about this TV licensing fee that Vince has got from both NBC Universal and Fox, so they're
Yep,
going to ask for
yep.
that, and they're going to ask for a pay rate.
Oh, yeah, I think
Obviously,
NBC Universal's giving them a $1.36 billion deal as well. So we're going to keep seeing Raw on there, but it's an interesting topic. Why don't we just delve into that? And I just wanted to say we did miss WrestleMania season, but it's okay
yeah.
because it wasn't such a great WrestleMania.
Yeah, it wasn't. We didn't miss much from that, so there's no point to we don't feel no regret missing that season anyway. Even though we watched it personally, but you know,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean we both agree. We talked about this. We chopped it offline. Is that we both agree that the standout match was Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and
well, it's
Stephanie.
because Ronda exceeded our expectations. Ronda exceeded
Exactly.
our expectations.
Yeah.
Obviously it was very scripted. It was not a match where they could improvise much. But
No, they
she
could.
hit all of her points, and of course it was a mixed tag, so it was easier for everybody involved. Of course, Kurt Angle is a little bit fragile at this point as well.
It is, and that's the thing too. With the biggest worries is that I covered this on my other channel briefly. I have a boxing channel too, but is that I believe that this match was going to be full of botches. I mean, Stephanie wasn't, in the past wasn't known to be a very good in-ring performer. Kurt hasn't been in the ring for a very, very, very long time due to history, multiple injuries, whatnot, and Triple H has been more on the admin side of things as of many years. So you would expect some ring rust between the two, and it did. They did show a bit of ring rust, but so our expectations, as you say, is that Ronda and Stephanie performed. Even Stephanie, man, let's give her some credit. She performed way above our expectations.
Stephanie does train on a regular basis. I mean, she's in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
And speaking of Triple H, on the quick side note, what did you think of that match with John Cena at the Greatest Royal Rumble? Because I think that was a fresh exhibition. It was short. They hit their points. I didn't see any ring rust in either of the guys, because at this point they're both kind of run down, aging, and part timers.
Yeah, I hear you.
Use your gift card.
Yeah, so what it is that yeah, I mean, that was the Greatest Royal Rumble. That actually was a pretty good match. I would agree with you on that, but I wasn't impressed by that show. I don't know.
Well, it wasn't, that match wasn't supposed to be something amazing. It was just to show the crowd in that country, two top dogs who are past their prime and in a pretty good feel exhibition.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it is, but I think the backlash behind why the Greatest Royal Rumble is that a lot of WWE fans were upset that the women were not allowed on the card. Obviously, Saudi Arabia has their strict law, Sharia law, when it comes to women rights. So WWE had to adhere to that.
Yeah, and WWE got a lot of backlash for that. But the truth is, WWE is not responsible for their law. They can't change their laws, but at least they're trying to make some sort of progress. And who knows? What they're saying is, who knows? Maybe a few years down the line, they will finally allow women to wrestle. And I don't think it's completely deserved, the backlash. Although a lot of people say that WWE did sell out for the money.
I mean, I want to look at. Okay, look. I would say in one aspect, from a political aspect, why would you go to a country that has been has been under subject of controversy when it comes to human rights? Okay, why would you go there and invest in that country? Well, I'm saying investment, but perform in front of them. Well, you can say an investment too, because they have to spend their money, the production costs to get it going, whatnot, and expenses for the lodging for their talent, dinner, you name it, all that stuff. So the fact is that from a legal law standpoint, yeah, WWE cannot change the Sharia law. They can't do that. That's not within their jurisdiction to do so. So
what you're saying is, ethically, they didn't make an ethical decision. They took the money. They took the bait.
They took the bait, exactly. And the rumor mill is, after that show, it's like the royal family, the Saudi family, still wants them to come back. They want to go back there this fall.
Oh, it's a 10-year deal. They are going to go back.
Ah, Jesus, 10-year deal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. I mean, and I wouldn't say like the match, the show was that amazing in terms of ring work. I think it was just basic matches, and they just it was basically a house show. It was a house show on a grand stage for a shitload of money, and a lot of that crowd, especially in the front, which might have been part of the royal family or whatever it was, didn't seem too enthusiastic.
Yeah, it's funny. Speaking of the royal family, I heard they made some pretty odd requests as far as talent is concerned. I heard they requested Yokozuna, and they requested who else? They requested to be on that show.
Yokozuna,
the Ultimate Warrior. Yeah.
Did you say Yokozuna?
Yep, and the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh,
they requested those two to be on the show. And
are you serious? Are you serious?
I know, I'm serious. Yeah, they actually did. And it's not funny, but I mean, I guess they haven't really kept up with the sport for many years based off that request. No disrespect, but yeah, we both know they both passed away.
I guess that's why. Yokozuna passed away about 25 years ago.
Yeah, almost 20 years ago. Yeah, he passed away. Yeah. So.
But that's why they put that sumo guy in there, I guess. But that thing, they gave Braun the trophy. That was good. That was the right person to win. I think they picked the right person to win. But that just kind of dissipated that trophy
Right.
and that belt. It just I don't know. I think at the end of the match, that one Prince guy thought that belt was coming to him.
Yeah. Well, that show to me was somewhat of a letdown because the crowd wasn't even into it. I guess that's probably one of my one of my thoughts going looking into that show. It's like, dude, the crowd is not even into it. They don't even know what's going on. I think this is stuff. I think this is new to them, I guess, because they're not used to seeing things like this. Because I think what I've been hearing in Jihad, in Saudi Arabia is going to be the foreground when it comes to sporting events or live events. I've also heard from a side note that they're going to have a boxing event over there, which is a huge profile fight. So that's going to be Saudi Arabia is going to be a place where people are going to go to host events.
Oh
So
yeah, that arena is pretty beautiful too.
Yeah, no, I have to admit that was a very, very beautiful arena.
Or stadium.
Our stadium, sure, it's not an arena, it's a stadium. What was the capacity? About 50,000? 60,000?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
we'll
they went all out. I mean, they even got Jericho out there. They got Mark Henry out of retirement. The great Khali, who didn't look very good.
Oh yeah, we expected that because that's almost somewhat not exactly the neck of the woods, but he's close to that area. I mean,
Henry's still at the top of his game. I hear that they even asked Shawn Michaels. They went to the extent of asking Shawn Michaels, and Shawn declined. I mean, and that was a big money offer. How much money has Shawn turned down to come out of retirement? Because he's still even at age 53 or whatever he is, he's still wiped the floor with a lot of this talent.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels
versus Seth Rollins, man, that would be a dream. Right now, I think he's in great shape and he could still go.
Yeah, he's maintained his great physique, his great conditioning. And Michaels versus AJ Styles has always been a dream matchup too, or Daniel Bryan, but Shawn Michaels
AJ is not a spring chicken either, believe it or not. He just turned 41 years old.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is. He's over his 40s now. Yikes! And he's also decreased in size over the years. I mean, obviously, when you get older, your body's going to change. But the fact is that Shawn Michaels has been very, very clear that he's stuck to his word. After his retirement, he has no intentions of coming back. He's done what he can do. He's put his body through a lot of distress over 30
That's
years.
Interesting though, because he has in recent years since his retirement, he has agreed to get a little bit physical and come in for a little storyline or two, but not full out wrestle. That's not full out have a match. So that's
I think what he means is he'll accept more of a on-screen managerial role in a way. He'll accept that. He'll take a couple bumps here and there, but he ain't going to get in the ring and take like 20 or 30 bumps. He's not going to do that anymore. He's like, look, I've done what I can do. I'm past my prime. I'm gonna let these other guys go in there and get a chance to get a taste of that spotlight that I got. But the fact is too is that one of my friends brought this up to my attention is it that we live in an era now that we have to rely on these past prime wrestlers to get these young talents over to draw crowds these days, like Goldberg, for example. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat that we seen about 10 years ago.
Well, that's what I kind of wanted to talk about with the whole talent thing and this new Fox deal, because I think that's going to completely change the playing field for that company.
Okay, he's going to change the narrative.
Yeah, it's going to completely change everything, and there's really a lot to talk about, and that's kind of good leeway into it with the whole talent conversation.
Right. We briefly discussed that offline about that. Because SmackDown's going to Fox, as Fox does have a very, very huge audience. So larger than, in my opinion, probably a little bit larger than NBC Universal. But so what you're gonna do is that now you have a show on a very, very, very huge platform on Fox. Are you gonna bring Ronda Rousey over? That's the question.
Well, yes. I mean, that's one thing. It's a massive deal. It's network television. Wrestling's been off network television since they were on UPN, and of course, UPN is a lot smaller than Fox. Every household gets Fox. Wherever you are, if you're not on cable, if you're not online, just hook up an antenna and you'll find Fox. Really, SmackDown should be their A show at this point, and that's how completely going to change the playing field because once SmackDown's that A show, once SmackDown's on network television, they're going to be more important than Raw. They just are because not as many households get USA Network. Um, so yeah, that's why people like Ronda Rousey and the faces of this company should be on there. And as you notice, I think this is not too much of a coincidence, but they did put a lot more talent on SmackDown. It's a way stronger roster, although it's a shorter show, so not everybody gets utilized. So I think they're planning for something, and also it's getting moved to Fridays. We're gonna have SmackDown on Fridays, and it's gonna continue being live. So that actually puts more production challenges on them. But of course, now they have the money to deal with that.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good point. I've noticed that as well. So I guess that they're banking on that audience, so they need to get as many as they can over there. And to me personally, I think it's it's a good move. I mean, that is you got to debut this show with a very, very strong rating. So with the capital they're putting into it, I would expect them to try to get at least 10 million, maybe 8 to 10 million on the debut night. Probably depends on you. Got to get. I agree. You might have to get Ronda Rousey over there because she is such a huge draw. Now the thing is though, how long could those ratings sustain though? Because that's a problem. And another thing we also have to talk about as well is that, well, will Spence do that? Because we understand that Raw is his baby. That's his A show, and he'll do what he can to make sure that show will be number one.
And we have a whole topic of Raw plans as well because it is the A show, but it's not. It's doing pretty. It's just garbage right now.
I know. Yeah, that's another thing we all talk about too. Yeah, the writing. What the fuck is going on over there? Excuse my language.
Yeah. I mean, and we'll hit on that real shortly. But my point here is, with this huge massive deal, they don't need to fill up house shows. They don't need to sell pay-per-views. They don't need to sell the net. They don't need to really do any of that in terms of monetary gain. They have it, and they're in control, and so that translates into they just need content. And if people hate Roman Reigns and they don't show up, it really doesn't affect them at this point because they can just continue doing what they're doing, which is kind of where we see the product right now and why fans are upset and why there are no changes. And maybe things will change in when the next regime steps up and Vince finally steps down, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. And the thing is, too, is that despite the fact that the ratings has declined in some areas, especially on Raw, even on SmackDown currently, Spence has still made more money than he's ever made over the last 2-3 years. More he's ever been. And I think that had something to do with the fact that he introduced the streaming network, WWE Network, because there you could catch the shows, you could watch on replay, even on live, even the main shows.
Well, they kept up. They kept up with technology. Yeah. They kept up with the Hulus and the Netflixes. They never fall behind. And WWE is a company that's known to do that. They want to be on the cusp and the cutting edge of modern day technology. And speaking of that, they're not done yet because from what I'm hearing, and I don't know if it's accurate, that Fox didn't, even for all that money they're paying, they didn't get the digital rights. So WWE is going to be shopping around those digital rights, for a massive deal with Hulu's, with Amazon's, with Google's, whatever, and there might be another massive deal coming up.
Well, if it goes on Amazon and Netflix, I'm cool with that because I'm subscribed to both. So I think Amazon would probably be the best bet because they have a larger user base on that side than Netflix. So I think that probably.
Google has more money to spend than any of them. I think Google has more money than Fox.
Yeah, so you expect this to be a bidding war for those digital rights for WWE content, right?
Yeah, and so we may not like what they're doing, but apparently Vince has the right idea, I guess, in mind with what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, he may be a sadistic bastard to some degrees, so no disrespect to Vince, but he's a very, very smart businessman. And there's a reason why he's been successful for the last what, 30
Hell,
years,
his wife
40,
is in
40,
the Trump administration. She
Oh
got
man,
herself
here
in
we
there.
go. But you know what though? She's very very smart because what it is that she's a small business administration administrator, and she knows not to be front of the camera that much when it comes to that administration. She knows how
Oh
toxic it
yeah.
is over there, so she's keeping it. She's playing it safe. She's doing what she can because she understands in her role she doesn't have to be controversial. In fact, she hasn't had no controversy in her administration as since she's been in there. So,
But just
hey,
the fact
kudos
that
to
she
her.
got in there, I mean, that kind of means they're doing something right at least for for capitalism in the country.
Well, I would say capitalism. I just say they're, the Small Business Administration have kind of did things quietly, so they kind of conducted
Yes. Yes.
their policies quietly there. But at some point, maybe. I mean, she's been over the year. We haven't heard any controversial things about Linda McMahon, so she's
No,
playing it
I've
pretty
barely
smart.
seen her on TV. I've barely seen her
Yeah,
on TV.
yeah,
But
she's playing it smart
yeah.
because she see what's going on with other administrators like Scott Pruitt, Jeff Sessions, and all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's like, nah, let me just build my resume here, and then if I have other political aspirations, I'm gonna run for the Senate again, or I might run for governor in the state of Connecticut, or I might run for president. So that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to play
Oh
it
yeah.
safe.
Oh yeah.
Yes, the only reason why she took that job is because she wanted to gain the political experience. That's why she did it. So she's trying to play it quietly, but to be fair though, those who do leave the administration can't get a job. That's why the last thing I read, they're having a difficult time getting a job in the private sector. But Linda will be fine if that's the case. If she leaves, if she wants to go back to the private sector. But anyways, speaking of, back to the wrestling topic. But as far as the digital rights is concerned, we'll see who's going to bid for those rights. We'll see, but I'll definitely keep my eye out on that.
Right. Do you hear me right now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, my headphones just died, so I guess I'm just gonna talk like this.
Yeah, you sound much clearer, brother.
I sound much clearer?
much clearer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, but the last thing I want to point out about this Fox deal is, let's say a guy like AJ Styles, because they're all gonna. I mean, these guys are they're priceless talent at this point. I mean, a guy like AJ Styles, if he's 41 years old, if he considers retirement after this current deal expires, he might think twice, and he might request a shitload more money. And he might actually get it because they've got the money to spend.
Well, he might get it because AJ Styles has been a phenomenal draw, and yeah, he is phenomenal.
No pun intended, yeah.
Yeah, within a year, he's a main event guy. And we all thought, Spence didn't like the TNA guys, particularly AJ Styles, because, for years he didn't want to sign the guy. And look where he is now. He comes in 2014, debut at the Royal Rumble, and then within that year, he's a main event guy. He's a champion. Two Universal and WWE Heavyweight Champion.
He made his name, and I mean he's considered a young guy because he's a new guy, but he's not a young guy. He took a lot longer to make his name than other guys who've come in, but he's a very individual. There aren't many like him, and that's kind of like where this Kenny Omega guy is in New Japan. You just kind of know that eventually he's going to make it up to the grandest stage because that's where ultimately you want to build your legacy.
Right. Do you think that, speaking of Kenny Omega, you think the WWE regret releasing him and not developing him enough that he should have been developed?
I don't think they regret it because honestly, maybe he wouldn't have become who he is and made his name the same way if he would have stayed in WWE. And a lot of people do. A lot of wrestlers do that. A lot of big names do that. They leave, and when they come back, they're just a lot stronger because they feed off of the popularity they gained in New Japan. I think the Young Bucks and a guy like Cody Rhodes are going to be very valuable at some point, and WWE has their eye on them, and they struck up a lot more value for themselves. because they left and because they rebuilt their names, so to speak.
Right. Right. You know, the thing about Kenny Omega is that people know who the man is now. I mean, he's appearing all over the place. He actually just did a. I'm not sure if you into Street Fighter on the gaming side. Street Fighter 5. They released a new DLC character for this season, Cody, and in that promo, Kenny Omega was playing Cody. In that promo, people went wow over that. Like, wow. They even recognize who he is, you know. So
yeah,
you know. So yeah, I mean, if Kenny Omega does somehow, some way appears on a WWE programming show, that would be awesome, and that would be epic if he does. But I don't see that happening. He, you know, like you said, WWE don't regret regret letting him go. And he feels it's a blessing because look where he's at right now. He's a huge commodity in Japan. He's a celebrity there. He's even a bit, you know, he's somewhat of a celebrity over here in the United States, even though he doesn't perform here. You know, so yeah, he's you know, it's a blessing that they both parted ways. You know, they both got, well, not saying both, but he's got.
Well, that's kind of what happened with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, as soon as he left WCW and did some really got a little bit more creative freedom to do some really over the top stuff in ECW, he. You know, and it wasn't right away, of course. He kind of fumbled as the ringmaster for a few years in WWE, but ultimately he became the biggest star the company's seen. I really think Omega has that potential.
Yeah.
The thing is, the scripting and just the level of detail they're doing, and we could talk about that leaked Raw script as well, but it's just so much more scripted and, you know, it's so different than when back in the day when Stone Cold Steve Austin just cut promos off the cusp of his mind.
Yeah, true. And they just let him be who he wanted to be. And he revolutionized the attitude style of wrestling. You know, I mean, the more edgier style, as you say. So, yeah, man, it could be that. Now, the one thing I wanted to talk about is Bobby Lashley.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, what the fuck are they doing with Bobby Lashley? I mean, they got him involved in one of the most obscured storylines I've ever seen. I mean, with Sami Zayn of all people. What the fuck, man? Come on. I know.
Well, let me ask you this. He came in smiling and doing suplexes. Would you rather him just continue doing that or to be involved in something?
I want him to be involved in the main event picture. If you have to develop him to be a mid-carder at first, so be it. That's fine. But what I do want to see is that this guy's got so much talent. He may not have the mic skills. I know that. That's not his repertoire. So is Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar doesn't have the mic skills either. But Brock Lesnar backs it up in his ring with his in-ring performance. I mean, Bobby Lashley is a damn good wrestler. And for his size, just like Lesnar, he's got a whole lot of athleticism. I mean, why not? Strength, athleticism, very deep wrestling pedigree, amateur pedigree when it comes to wrestling. So why not? An MMA fighter, a legit MMA shoot fighter. So why not develop him just like you did develop Lesnar, you know, to be a main event monster?
Or Batista. You know? I mean, also
Batista.
An MMA fighter.
Right, but, legit shoot fighter. Yeah, it's like, why don't you?
I'll say this: just because they're doing some stupid stuff, and they're doing a lot of stupid stuff. I mean, as you could see, they had a food fight last Raw. I mean, it doesn't mean they don't see him as a huge star in their eyes, because obviously he's one of the showcase talents on that brand, as you can see. Of course, they're pinpointing Strowman as the breakout star of. I'd say it's a little too early, but I'd say a breakout star of 2019, and I think everybody else is kind of positioned under him. When it comes to Roman Reigns, that's another conversation, but I think Lashley's up there, and once he gets past this Sami Zayn debacle, because it is downtime. I mean, it always once we get out of WrestleMania, shortly after that, it's kind of a downward until SummerSlam time, around SummerSlam time.
Right. Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, but as far as Braun Strowman is concerned, we've been saying this for the last 2 years now. He's going to be the breakout star. This is going to be the guy. He's going to go do this, that, and third. But every time they put this man in a championship match, he has to go over. I just don't understand that. It's like he's got to go over. He's got to put somebody over. I know him and Finn Balor's got this rivalry there. It looks pretty good, by the way, and they're both in the Money in the Bank ladder match. So we'll see. I mean, will he win the Money in the Bank match? Maybe. If he does, okay, prove me wrong. Now they're going to make sure he cashes in at the right time against Brock Lesnar, because he did say in that promo that he's going after Brock Lesnar. So I hope he does. If that's the case, make him cash in on Lesnar. I mean, hopefully he'll cash in the same night, just like Kane did against Rey Mysterio in the Money in the Bank.
Is Brock Lesnar going to be at Money in the Bank? Oh, you're saying SummerSlam?
SummerSlam, yeah. Whoever Brock Lesnar is going to face at SummerSlam, and if he does beat that person, then if he gets like injured or in a tough battle with Bobby Lashley per se, then Strowman's going to cash in on him.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Lashley has a lot of I think ups at this time. He's really honed his style. Obviously, he did a lot in Impact Wrestling. We can't ignore that, although they are doing that. But a better character as a heel. He was never a heel in WWE. Right now, they gave him generic theme music. They gave him some comedy storyline that Vince probably finds very amusing, but it's really kind of stupid. And he kind of acknowledged that last week's Raw. And maybe that aggressive side that he showed towards Sammy, maybe they should focus more on that.
Right. Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah, man. I mean, look, I just know. I'm just so high on Bobby Lashley, to be honest with you, man. I think he deserves this push. He should have got his push for a champ. Well, I know he got the ECW championship, but he should have got the world title.
What would you like to see Lashley do?
I'd like to see him in the main event picture. I like to see him program with Strowman. I like to see him program with Lesnar. I mean, that's a fight people wanted to see that for years.
Cena,
yeah. Let's get him to do that again, because that was a good program what they did back in 2007.
Yeah.
Let's do that again.
He was very much showcased back in 2007. He was the number 2 under Cena, and a lot's changed since then, of course. But yeah.
Yeah. I agree, man. I think there's a lot they need to do. They could do better with Lashley. Let's put it that way. They could do a lot better. So I don't know, man. They need to do something, especially just that whole that Raw writing team, man. It's just so...
Speaking of Bobby, what do you think about Bobby Roode? Because things are just not clicking right now with Bobby Roode either.
Bobby Roode, he's better as a heel. I don't like him as a face. He
did such good work in TNA. I mean, he was the world champion as a heel, and he was a really good, really dastardly heel.
He was a very good heel. He kind of reminds me of a Rick Rude type of heel. I mean, Rick Rude obviously was a damn good heel. I mean, but as far as Bobby Roode just has that charisma, man. He just has that. He's not overly a top character. It's just who he is. And he's very good at it.
As minimal as this seems, I think this Glorious song really, I mean, it's good for fans to chant it.
Yes.
It's good for fans to chant. It's very catchy, but he doesn't need that. He doesn't need that. He has a lot of natural talent as a heel, and without that song, maybe he could do that. But with the song, he's going to remain a face. He just is.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to make a heel change, they should have did that with Bobby Roode at WrestleMania. I mean,
it's kind of like Nakamura. It's kind of like Nakamura. That song, they changed the song. It's still a good song, but now people can't sing along with it, and it's worked wonders for him. I mean, he was stale, in my opinion. He wasn't doing the work he's known for in New Japan. He was stale. The style was stale. It's like a rebirth for him. I mean, look how good he's become since he's turned heel. Even though he's in the same damn feud for the 5th month in a row.
That's true. That's a good point. He has been a good heel. I would say this. You're right. He's been a He's gotten a lot
better. He's gotten a lot better, and we see a lot more potential come out.
Right. But I don't know. I felt that it was too soon to make him heel. But it's worked so far. I'll agree. But I think, if anything, Bobby Roode should go heel more so than Nakamura, in my opinion. I think Bobby Roode should go more heel. But it's just, to me, he's better as a heel, man. It's just so cringe-worthy to watch.
He smiles, and the entrance is pretty badass. I'll admit that.
Yeah, but he smiles, but you don't believe him. He's not believable as a face. That's where I'm getting at. He's not believable as a face. That's why I'm like, man, dude, turn this guy heel for God's sakes. I mean, just like John Cena over the years, we've been begging for him to go heel, but that's not going to happen because, obviously we know John Cena does have some bit of creative control. You know what I mean?
Well, John Cena's in a storyline of his own, the Nikki Bella John Cena storyline.
Exactly.
Because after hearing they're getting back together, that was all work.
Yeah, I mean, we know that, man.
And I guess they never really were engaged.
You don't think so?
No, I mean, they do it on the grandest stage of WrestleMania. Everybody knew about it. And then they say they call off the wedding, and now they're just doing a total Bella storyline and getting back together. Come on. Let's get back to wrestling. I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, let's do that. I mean, it is. I did get a glimpse of that episode. That does look kind of scripted to me. I'm like, okay, this thing seems a little bit scripted, but all right, never mind. Yeah, let's get back.
Did you watch that episode, or you just?
I don't even watch Total Divas. I don't.
I used to. I'll admit it. I used to, but I just can't take it anymore.
I guess it's so repetitive. It's so stale. That's what it's been.
But Total Bellas is actually better than Total Divas. It's another type of. It's just John Cena, Bryan, and the Bellas.
Right.
And John Laurinaitis.
Johnny Ace. Yeah. Oh, he's still around. I thought he left the company.
He's married. He's married to the Bella's mother, so he's pretty. He's a pretty known character on that Bella show.
Okay, he's still around. All right.
Yeah, they're using people on different. It's just like the Miz and Mrs. with Maurice that's going to come out. I mean, WWE's doing great. They're just putting their brand everywhere, social media, different shows.
Yeah, and they got web series on
smart
network.
Business tactic. It's definitely smart. Yeah, I don't like the series on the net, all these series on the network, but. Extra series, but still, it's smart business tactic.
Right, yeah, I agree. It's smart, but yeah. I mean, I guess because they know now that they're no longer an edgier company like they used to be. They're going kind of. They still have a little bit of edge, but they're kind of balancing out between catering to a family audience.
I guess becoming PG was their tactic to eventually get this $1 billion deal with Fox, and I guess it worked. So
yeah,
I assume that was the right thing to do in that case. But do you think now that they're getting all this money and all this power, they'll have some more creative freedom if they want it? Because it doesn't seem like they're going to change. The way they conduct their shows anytime soon, it seems like the quality is just going to go down until there's some sort of threat to their existence, which is never.
Yeah, and that's another thing I need to talk about because a friend of mine brought this to my attention. He said, "You know what, Dan? This is what he told me. He said, you know what? As great as WWE has been over the years, but their content and their content has been so dreadful over the years, and I just can't bear to watch it." He said in his eyes, he feels that the death of WCW is what kind of killed the wrestling business altogether. And I asked him,
and that almost didn't happen. That could have not happened.
Yeah, that could have not happened. Yeah, exactly. Because obviously we all knew that the plan for WWE was initially to acquire the company along with its library, and its with its licensing rights, whatnot. They were going to spin it off as a separate show, like they did with ECW at one point. They're going to spin it off as its own show, but based off that disastrous match between Booker T and Buff Bagwell, they kind of scrapped the plans. They scrapped that plan after that match, based off the feedback of that match as a main event to close out the show. I think it was on Raw to close it out, but. The fact is that to his point, to me, I looked at that and from an objective standpoint, and I thought to myself, you know what? He could be right because back then in the 90s, in the mid-90s, early mid-90s, in the late 90s, obviously, you had content that people wanted to see. You had shows going at each other trying to battle out who had the best storylines.
Well, yeah, they had to really think about how to one-up each other. Right. And that new podcast with Eric Bischoff, 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff, really addresses that.
Right, exactly. And the wrestling ratings was so phenomenal back then. You used to see Raw do like a 12 million views a show, or maybe 10 million, maybe 9 million. And then, you had Nitro do about 8, 10 million, 12 million. they were just like neck to neck each other when it comes to like the high millions. You know, at one point, I know, you know, Nitro was kicking Raw's ass after that whole Hogan heel turn for years, and right for like 2-3 years. And let's be fair, let's stay here because Raw used to do like double-digit views per show after that, right? And WWE, in fairness, before that, they did like about 4 million, 5 million, which is still good. And people were wondering why isn't Raw, you know, been taken off the air because of that. I mean, because of Nitro. Well, because they're still doing good ratings. That's the reason why. A lot of people felt that their ratings were bad. It's like, no. Their ratings were still good. They were doing 5-6 million because of Stone Cold Steve Austin, obviously.
Oh yeah,
he was the reason why.
They
were still good.
They were in trouble. They were in real trouble, and they got themselves out of that. And that's those are the creative juices that are lacking right now.
Yeah,
they don't feel a danger to their existence anymore.
Right, and that's why I tell these Shawn Michaels fanatics, it's like, dude, Shawn Michaels can draw that show. He couldn't do it by himself. I mean, he wasn't the reason why that show WWE survived. They survived because of Stone Cold Steve Austin. They survived because of the resurgence of The Rock, Triple H, those guys. Shawn Michaels couldn't do it. He couldn't draw. I'm sorry. I respect Shawn Michaels, but he was not a draw.
Neither could Bret. Neither of them.
Yeah, I'm a big Bret Hart fan. I have to kind of concede to that realization. But let's be fair, though. Bret was a better draw than Shawn Michaels. if you want to go there. He was.
Well,
he was a bit better.
Neither of them were neither of them were deal breakers. I mean, I think Stone Cold and The Rock, and that came later. Shawn was a workhorse. Shawn kept that company. He really carried that company on his back, and what changed during the Attitude Era is all the supporting players became important. All the supporting players were the things that we saw them do was important. They were relevant.
Yeah,
that's something that didn't happen before, and that's something that's not happening anymore. Obviously, we see what we get in the mid card. Nothing. Well, now that Seth Rollins is in the Intercontinental Champion and Brock Lesnar is not around, not around as much. That might not be as completely accurate on Raw, but for the most part, the time where all the supporting players mattered. We had Godfather, we had the Nation of Domination, we had Val Venus. You were interested, like if you went to a live show and you saw and you wanted to sit there and watch that, and you didn't want to take a bathroom break. Now, we have these 205 Live guys after SmackDown, and people just want to get out of there and be trafficked home, and that's what's changed.
Right, that's true. That's true, and it goes to the point though. The bottom line is that without a threat or competition, WWE is going to put whatever content they want to put out, and they don't have to really cater to the fans anymore. They realize they're still going to have fans come watch their shows. They're going to
that's the result we get. The fans voicing negative opinions and a lot of booing in the shows, and a lot of this is boring, and these stupid food fights that it feels like just somebody just said it's Memorial Day, let's just phone it in.
Right. Or the beach balls that keep getting passed out during a match. We all know when that happens. Storyline. Yeah, when that happens, that means that your match is stupid. Nobody cares about it now. It's boring. I know a lot of wrestlers don't like that shit. They have a beach ball being passed out during their matches. They didn't like
I think more management doesn't like, because I've heard wrestlers such as Cena kind of support it, actually.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
Well, why?
Cena just wants to be liked. I think that's what it is. He wants to agree. But Seth Rollins. What do you think? I mean, I think, man, he's hotter than he's ever been, and not necessarily at the top of the. He's been world champion before. He's been higher on the card, but just the consistency of his ring work.
Yeah, Seth Rollins. I've been very high on Seth Rollins. My only concern about Seth Rollins is that he was known to be a very reckless in the ring. He's known to hurt a lot of guys, and that was the thing I was like, I'm skeptical about. Kind of like Sasha Banks in a way, being so reckless in the ring against her. Not being safety, not taking care of her partners in the ring, or himself, or his and her partners in the rings. But over the years, I guess with that Bret Hart criticism was probably what got to him the most. So after that Bret Hart criticism, you've seen that Seth Rollins has been a little bit extra careful when it comes to safety in the ring.
Well, I
So
think
yeah,
when he first came in after the knee, after the night, how long was he out for? A year? About a year?
yeah,
A little less. He had a that knee injury. He had a long hiatus. The year after that, when he first came back, he just couldn't find his niche again. You know what I mean?
right,
He just couldn't find it, and I think the company was kind of being careful that the knee would go out again. They weren't trusting him as much. They didn't put him in as much of a top spot in effect. But now that's all. They kind of put more trust into him, obviously, and that carefulness is not such a factor anymore. He's kind of comfortable in the ring. You can tell, and I think that's the same thing with Daniel Bryan at this point. If you look real closely at his matches, he he seems to slow down a little bit. He seems to, and other wrestlers with him in the ring, they seem to try to be extra careful, which really affects the quality of the matches.
right. Right. I mean, it's a good point. I mean, it's definitely a very, very good point. And I think Seth has kind of redeemed himself in a way because of that, because there was complaints about him. I mean, not severe as like Ahmed Johnson, man. Ahmed Johnson was Ahmed
Well,
Johnson was.
he messed up Balor. Ahmed was pretty bad. Owen Hart messed up Stone Cold pretty bad for the
Yeah,
rest of his career. But
that's true.
he messed up Balor. He messed up some other things, but he messed himself up in a match with Kane, of course.
Yeah,
But obviously they trust him now because they've had matches with Balor and it went pretty fine
yeah.
recently.
Well, they kind of blamed him for the Sting situation too, and they felt that your reckless is what got Sting to
Which
retire.
situation? Sting?
Yeah, when he
Yeah, and
threw
he is to
Sting.
blame for that. And he is to
Yeah,
blame for that. But the truth of the matter is Sting was too fragile and he was on his way out anyway.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, well, let's put it this way. I mean, maybe it was going to happen eventually because Sting was banged up for many years already.
And
He's
at least he
probably
got a moment. I think that he could have had a better moment at the WrestleMania he did appear at. He could have had
yeah,
something different, but I guess it's good that he got something for his last
right.
hurrah.
And I guess what people were so upset about is the fact that he had ruined the chance of fans of finally seeing that dream match that people wanted to see for decades: Undertaker versus Sting.
Yes, and how do you think that would have gone?
Oh man, ugh. It's probably been a cringe-worthy match to watch because look,
Speaking of
Taker,
cringeworthy, Cena Taker at WrestleMania, that was just a joke.
that was awful. And Cena actually took a dive like that, man, to get blown out like that. He actually agreed to put him Taker over like that. I mean, seriously.
And I understand
I mean,
the Undertaker having that type of match, and they want to make money from the name recognition, and I agree with that to bring him out for that type of thing because he can't do much more than that anymore. But Cena, it seems like Cena is really heading toward the end of his career. So why not have a big and important match
yeah,
uh, on at WrestleMania before you hang it up? That's what I don't understand. It's kind of wasting time.
yeah. It is. It is. It is. I mean, I mean, speaking of Cena, I mean, do you think also that for him to kind of put over, take it away, he kind of feels that his wrestling career is kind of winding down. He's got other projects that he wants to
He'll
do.
always be around. He's like Taker. He'll always be around in some capacity. But yeah, I definitely think it's winding down.
Winding down because look at him now. He's doing a lot of movies now. He's doing a lot of
He's doing a
voiceover
lot
work.
of losing
Voice,
now, is what he's
yeah.
doing.
Well, he's putting a lot of talent over now. Look at it. Cena's 42 years old now, so he understands. He understands now. It's
He's is he 42? Well, Triple H is pushing
40.
50, isn't he? I mean,
He's getting to 50. He'll be 50 next year.
Chris Jericho's pushing 50, and he's not slowing down much. I mean, obviously he's a part timer, but he's doing so much stuff.
Well, no. I'm not saying that I'm not saying they're slowing down. What I'm saying is that they understand they're at the point of their careers that they need to start putting younger talent over. They're not. They realize that their wrestling career is kind of coming to its end to some degree.
Speaking of Cena, have you heard the NXT rumor?
I did not hear that rumor. Tell me about it.
Well, Cena wants to go to NXT, And the rumor is that that Velveteen Dream, if you heard about Velveteen Dream, he's
I
the
know
guy.
about those teams.
He's the guy that's gonna feud with him, and Cena's real serious about becoming part of NXT. I think that's kind of smart too. If they do shop NXT around to network television, take it off the network, to have Cena on there would be interesting. It would be interesting.
That
It would
would
bring a
be
lot more
interesting.
eyes to NXT.
That would be very, very interesting because um, Cena going down to NXT. I mean, well, hey,
It's different.
that'd be
Obviously,
very
they don't necessarily need him on the. Although he's a free agent, you got to remember Cena's a free agent. He can go to any brand.
That's true. That's true. He can. He can. He's not signed. So he's not under the contract. He's still under contract, or is that what you're saying?
Storyline wise, he's a free
Oh,
agent.
storyline.
He's
Yeah,
not,
that's
he's
right.
not on Raw. He's not on SmackDown. He can travel to NXT if he wants and do a few matches there, and that's storyline wise, he's a free agent.
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that'd be interesting if he goes down there. I mean, wow, wow.
You'll start watching.
I probably would, but we'll see. We will definitely see, man. But yeah, I mean that'd be cool, man. But the fact is that again, I just hope for the best for the show. I mean, the writing is dreadful. They need to fix it, though.
Dreadful.
In my opinion, dreadful writing. It's just terrible storylines. Again, it goes to the point that since the death of WCW, we don't see shows trying to one up each other like WWE. There's no competition. Bottom line,
I think the quality's gone down since the mid 2000s. I mean, I think even
it's going
after
down
WCW closed, we still had the big names. We still had our old favorites.
Let's
At
be
this
real.
point,
The
they're all
content was
basically-
going down in 2002. Even though in 2002, between 2002 and like maybe 2006, they still had some good shows even between that time compared to it is now.
Oh yeah.
But it's I guess because of the blade jobs, they were still have doing blade jobs back then, but they stopped it after the Michaels and Jericho incident. That's what they said. No more blade jobs after that.
Oh yeah.
They was like no more of those blade jobs. But
Michaels, Jericho, we had Taker, Triple H do that a little bit, chair shots, and you just don't see it
that
anymore.
chair shot. Yeah, I heard that infamous chair shot that Triple H did on Taker, and they both got fined for that. And they're like, whatever, whatever, whatever. CM Punk did CM Punk get fined for that pile driver that he put on Cena?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, man,
Did they get fined?
Yeah, I think CM Punk got fined for that. Vince was pissed
CM
about
Punk.
that.
Speaking of CM Punk, you want to talk about the news a little bit, or do you want to talk about Ronda Rousey challenging for the? Let's talk about Money in the Bank before we hit the news.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Yes, yeah, let's go over the card real quickly. I mean, like I said, I'm not too impressed with the card. Let's run it down here. So let
me get the card up here for myself.
Yeah.
Here.
All right. So let me know when you get it up. But
I'll get it up, and but let's talk about Rousey. I mean, she's getting a title shot. You think it's too soon? You don't think she's ready? Let me know your thoughts on that.
I don't think. I think she's ready, but I think for the storyline's sake, it's too soon. Why? For one, you put her up against Nia Jax, and two, Nia Jax is going from she's transitioning from a quick baby face to a heel turn. That's too quick. You make her go from heel to face from WrestleMania within a 2-month span. That makes no sense.
Well, it could be kind of face versus face, but she's just acting heelish because it's Ronda Rousey.
Probably to get more Ronda over. That could be the case, but as far as her being ready, I think she is ready based off how well she performed in that WrestleMania match. But the fact is that to put the title on her, I hope that's not the case. I don't see that happening. I think somebody's going to interfere in that match. I think someone is going to be who's it going to be? Could it be Stephanie? As I believe that's what's going to happen. She's going to interfere in that match.
I think that's the next feud.
Yeah, that feud's going to carry over to SummerSlam. So that could happen.
That would carry over. It might be one of the Bellas. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be Nikki or Brie.
Brie wants to make a return. She's planning a return.
Yeah, it could be one of the Bellas. It could be Stephanie. I think Stephanie's going to interfere in that match.
Before Brie Bella has another baby, because I hear that's being planned as well.
Okay, she's having another child. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
But Money in the Bank card, the pre-show is going to consist of Cedric Alexander versus Buddy Murphy for the Cruiserweight Championship. The
Oh
Deleters of
Lord,
Worlds,
why?
Matt yeah.
Yeah, hold on for a second, man. Why they keep doing this to the cruiserweights? They keep putting them on these kickoff shows. I mean, what the fuck, man?
They
I mean,
want people to
serious.
watch the kickoff shows. I mean, it's a hidden gem, really, because nobody watches it. And they're pretty good athletes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I guess after Neville and Enzo had left, I guess they kind of like they stuck it to the cruiserweights, man. It's like I think it's injustice. They actually outperform a lot better than anybody else on the main roster, in my opinion.
And you know that the pay-per-views are going to be longer now. All the pay-per-views are going to be 4 hours instead of 3, so they might bump it up and you know, not even have a pre-show, or they're going to have an earlier pre-show. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be 5 hours of wrestling every
If
month.
they're going to have a pre-show, at least have somebody that's in development. I mean, at least have some undeveloped talent on that show, at least. In my opinion, why are you going to have talented people like the cruiserweights, like Alexander and Ali, those two guys, for example? Why you keep putting them on these damn kickoff shows where they don't get paid, by the way, because that's what pissed Neville off, and that's why he left the company, because he wasn't getting any royalty money from the kickoff shows.
Neville was a good hand. I don't know what happened there. But
well, he asked to be bumped up into the main roster. He didn't want to be in the cruiserweight division. He's like, he felt he was too big, he was too over for it. Not saying big in size, but as far as being over, he was kind of like Rey Mysterio. He was over. That's why that's one of the reasons why they killed off the cruiserweight division back then, because of Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio was so big to the point that they couldn't keep him there. And when they could keep him there, they really didn't have much talent in that cruiserweight division. That's why they killed it. It's like, forget it. We might as well just put these guys in the main event when we have to. Like Evan Bourne, for example. So, you know, that was a good talent. They had to let him go. But the fact is like, now it's like with Neville, like I said, it's like, I hope he does come back, but it doesn't seem like he's coming back anytime soon.
He'll end up somewhere. I mean, he has a lot of talent, and I'm sure Impact Wrestling would love to have him.
I think he's doing good in the Indies. He's staying there for now.
Who do you see here? Cedric versus Buddy Murphy, and also the Raw Tag Team Championships on the pre-show, the Leaders of Worlds, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt versus the B Team. I think we kind of know that the B Team's not going to win those belts.
Yeah, they're not going to win those belts. We know that. We know that. I think from the Hardys going up against BT.
Hardy and Bray Wyatt, the Leaders of Worlds.
Oh, I think the Hardys is going to win it.
Hardy and Wyatt?
Yeah, Hardy and Wyatt is going to win it.
They're gonna retain. What do you think about that act? I think it's kind of like a standstill to SummerSlam. I think one of them is going to turn on the other, and they're going to have.
I think it's either Matt or it's going to be Bray's going to turn on each other. I think it's going to be Bray, because usually that's what he does. He always turns on his folks. I haven't seen anybody.
I feel like Bray's kind of taken a little bit of a second place and behind Matt, and he's not as out there anymore, and that's kind of detrimental.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But we'll see how that turns about, man. Let's talk about the single matches before we get into the money.
All right. Well, the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, and this seems to be on the main card. The Bludgeon Brothers versus Lou Gallows and Carl Anderson. I believe the Bludgeon Brothers are having a strong push, and they're not going to lose anytime soon.
Oh, they're not going to lose anytime soon. That is a very, very dominant team. That team is too big. They're too powerful. They're very agile. Yeah, I don't expect them to.
Now, what? And the gimmick's kind of cheesy, but whatever. But what do you think about what they're doing with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, moving them over to SmackDown? Because I think that kind of sucks. They had them with Balor. At least they had a role. They could put them with Styles on SmackDown, but they don't. So what are they doing with these guys? And what are they doing with Sheamus and Cesaro? Such a strong tag team, and not doing much on SmackDown either.
I don't know. And this is one of my biggest worries, is that if you fill your roster up with such deep of talent, the problem is that you're going to leave somebody out in the cold. What I mean by that is that what room do you have for as far as creativity is concerned?
There's not much time in that 2-hour time slot for all these good tag teams. I mean, they can't even appear in every show if you think about it. Why not at least move the New Day over to Raw, move a few other teams over to Raw?
Yeah, they need to make some changes. I mean, if you're not going to make some changes, then If you're gonna move SmackDown over to Raw, then SmackDown over to Fox, which is what happened. I mean, you're gonna have to extend the time slot, make it from instead of 8 to 10, you're gonna have to do it from 8 to 11.
You know what? Fox has that 10 o'clock news slot that they're not gonna. You know what I mean? They're not gonna give that up.
Yeah,
So.
yeah,
I
or
don't
start
know.
at 7
it's a
o'clock.
very strict time slot. Yeah.
Yeah, but well, they have to move to 7 p.m. then. 7 p.m.
Well,
to 10.
they. I don't think they'll do it though.
Well, I don't know.
Lashley versus Sami Zayn.
Oh my goodness.
Horrific segment on Raw featuring Lashley's quote-unquote sisters.
Oh Lord. Okay, I expect this to be a bit of a squash match. I don't think.
At least there may be some good interaction with Zayn and Lashley. Styles don't really match either. Obviously, Lashley's gonna win.
There's no chemistry. I just don't see no chemistry between the two. I mean, as far as the match is going to be,
it's a fodder. It's a fodder until we get to SummerSlam.
I mean, I guess this is one way to punish Sami Zayn because Vince is not really high on the guy anyway. So it is what it is. He doesn't see Sami Zayn as a good talent.
It's going to be at the bottom of the card too, which kind of is strange.
Yeah, I would expect it to be in the mid card, but it is what it is. I mean, you got the Money in Bank qualifiers. So we'll see. Now, as far as that's concerned, Big Kaz versus Daniel Bryan.
Big Kaz versus Daniel Bryan. After Kaz attacked Bryan following their triple threat match on SmackDown, WWE announced on Twitter that the two will square off against one another in Chicago. So, what are your thoughts on this? I see Bryan. Well, actually,
I see Bryan winning. I see him winning. I mean, tough battle, but
another case of no chemistry.
Yeah. It is. I mean, Big Kaz. I mean, again, man. To me, he's very lost without Enzo Amore. Very lost.
Very disappointing. I mean, I think the theme music has a lot to do with it as well.
Probably because usually the theme is what kind of gets the crowd into the character. Yeah, I mean, his work.
It's not a great theme song.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible. Ah, boy, Jim Johnston when you need him.
It's so generic.
I know.
And there are superstars who have good theme songs who are good. So I don't know.
Yeah, come on, CFO, man. Y'all need to work. Y'all need to do better than this, man. But I
don't think anybody composed that. I could have composed that shit.
I hear you, brother. I hear you on that one. But I expect Bryan to win it. Obviously, they need Kaz to put him over. So that way they can set Bryan up in the title picture against whoever the winner.
It's a grudge match. I see Miz and Bryan squaring off at WrestleMania 35. Who knows? It may even be for the belt.
I think Miz. Yeah, speaking of Miz, I think he needs a title push again, man. I think he needs it. He deserves it.
Being back on SmackDown, the land of the smaller guys, I think it's more possible. It's definitely more possible. Intercontinental Championship, we got Seth Rollins versus Elias. I like both of these guys.
Me too.
I don't know how their chemistry is going to be. I definitely think Rollins is retaining. He's real hot right now. Burn it down.
Yeah, and he's going to have to because he is their main event guy. With the exception of Brock Lesnar's not even there now. He's taking another hiatus until SummerSlam.
He's just a workhorse. He got attacked. He got attacked last week on Raw, so we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, Elias is very good, man. I mean, look, he's very got chemistry. He's over with the crowd. He's got great mic skills. His in-ring skills is good on bar. He's got a good look. I mean, he's kind of like
he's trying to be more heelish. I mean, who wants to walk with Elias? That kind of gets the crowd on his side. So we need him to be a heel here.
It's kind of like a Jeff Jarrett type of heel. He carries a fucking guitar all the time and then smashes people over the heads with it. But I think he's more of a better heel.
He kind of looks like Rollins. Like they kind of have the same look.
They do. They have the similarities. Well, obviously, Elias is a much bigger dude. But the fact is that I mean, Elias, he kind of reminds you of Jeff Jarrett. What do you think, in a way?
Not exactly the same style, but I see what you mean by that.
Yeah. Think about Jeff Jarrett too. It's like, a lot of people have attacked him over the years for not being a big draw, but he definitely was a guy who was very good on the mic. Who he knew how to cut a promo very well. Obviously he could play a guitar, but it is what it is. Anyhow, but yeah, I expect Rollins to retain going into SummerSlam. They might have a rematch at SummerSlam. I do see that happening. Them having a rematch there. in my opinion.
What's with these matches getting announced on Twitter? It's so minimalist. We got the minute. Yeah.
I guess because if you understand these days, if you watch boxing, that's how boxing matches get announced these days on social media, rather than a traditional platform like ESPN or whatever. That's how matches get announced on social media.
That's just how it's done, huh?
That's how it's done. That's why WWE's going that route.
All right, we got the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and this has been really highly promoted, as you could tell. Ember Moon versus Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch versus Natalya versus Lana versus Naomi versus Sasha Banks.
Oh man! First things first. Why the fuck do they have Sasha? I mean, not Sasha Banks. Why do they have Lana in this match? I don't understand. I mean, you really gonna put Lana in the match over Bayley of all people?
She'll do a couple of spots. She shouldn't be in the match. She can't work. I don't know. I think it's the whole Rusev thing. They want us to think that they have a chance of both winning.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. She's gonna get hurt badly.
Unless it's pretty pre-planned. I don't think she'll do much. That's the thing.
Oh, you don't think she's gonna take no many bumps, huh?
I don't think she'll just stand in the court. She'll do a little spot on the ladder, try to get.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows what they'll do? She might actually win it, like when everybody's knocked out, just kind of sneakily get up there, hang on to that briefcase for a year and not have to wrestle and do anything, and then kind of hit somebody over the head with it and win the belt. They could do that.
Yeah, they could do that. Well, Betty.
But she's not gonna win. She's not gonna win.
Yeah, I mean, if not Bayley, then hell, put Mandy Rose in there or put Sonya Deville in there. I mean, those two would probably been more deserving to be in that match than fucking Lana.
I mean, it's all storyline purposes.
Yeah, or even
Ember
Liv
Moon.
Morgan.
I see Ember Moon as a big name there. I see her having a great chance.
Oh, she's gonna have a. Yeah, I think she deserves a push. She's very good. Now, I mean, because she's trained by Booker T. What does that tell you? But the fact is that I mean, of all people, Lana, man. I mean, come on, man. I mean, they might as well do her like an R-Truth. I mean, get him in a damn, initially put him in a qualified, in a match against in a way.
Oh, she's not a sight for sore. I mean, she's pretty great to look at, but yeah. I think that's why they keep her. But what do you think? How do you think this match is going to go? Charlotte Flair is in this, so didn't she have some surgeries and some injuries that she was dealing with?
Yeah, I'm surprised she's in it. I thought she's supposed to nurse those injuries. I mean,
and what about Becky Lynch? I mean, they haven't done anything with her. This could be a great time to kind of get her name out there again.
Yeah, I mean, it's good she's in the match. I mean, because to keep her relevant. I mean, here's the thing: if you and I both agree that not the Raw, but the women's talent roster is so fucking deep, it's so hard to figure out where they're going to put where. I mean, surprisingly, Asuka's not even in the Money in the Bank. She's not even in it, so he's not even on the card. So that's surprising. So it's like, to me,
not even on the card.
She's not on the card, and that is
I don't know. She might be involved in something.
Now, this is where I'm very complexed here. If you don't have Mandy Rose, you don't have Sonya Deville, you don't have Bayley, and you don't have Asuka on the fucking card of all people, who's one of your biggest stars, that tells you something. What in the fuck is going on? If you don't have him on the Money in the Bank ladder match, okay, fine. But you should at least have him in a tag team match or have him in a singles match, something. In fact, what I've been hearing, the word for the grapevine is that since I keep saying Raw for God's sakes, since the women's talent roster is so fucking deep now, which is a great roster, by the way, they're gonna revitalize. They're gonna revitalize the restructure, I should say. Resurrect, I should say. They're gonna resurrect the tag team titles because they got rid of them back in the late '80s. So
the women's tag team titles.
Yeah, I heard they're gonna bring those. Yeah, I think they need to bring those back.
I see that.
Yeah, I agree because you got the Iconics there. Good tag team. Hell yeah, why not bring them back? You know what I mean?
Well, they haven't done much, but they're kind of like shit talking heels, kind of like.
Well, I just think of the
kind of like maybe the Miz,
Yeah, I expect the Iconics to interfere in that Money in the Bank ladder match, interfere with Charlotte. They're gonna get around. They're gonna.
And I think we have a lot to look forward to with the Iconics. I mean, imagine when they get around to feuding with Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they're gonna get to that point. So
do you have the men's ladder match in front of you? I stepped away for a second.
Yeah, I got it. We have Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, Bobby Roode, Braun Strowman, Miz, Rusev, Finn Balor,
Rusev Day.
Yeah, and New Day, Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods.
What do you think about this? Do you see Rusev going over here?
Man, first of all, this is the big Money in the Bank ladder match for all these guys. I mean, I see Rusev perform pretty well. I think Ben Balor might stand out the most, in my opinion, and expect Kofi Kingston to do something very spectacular, as we always see him do over the years.
Yes.
But if you want me to pick a winner, I probably would go with either The Miz or Braun Strowman. Is one of those two.
Oh yeah.
I think it's going to probably be The Miz. He may be a 2-time winner, Money in the Bank winner, in my opinion. I think he's going to.
You think so? You think so, huh?
Yeah, he's going to tie CM Punk's record. So we'll see.
You think so, huh?
Yeah, I think he's going to be the winner. What is your take on it?
I think Rusev's pretty hot, and I think it would be a good way to keep him hot for however long they want to hold off that. He deserves a title run he's over with the crowd. But also Braun Strowman. How can you deny Braun Strowman? I mean, who's gonna, unless you kind of outsmart him and who's gonna knock this guy out? Who's gonna beat this guy?
Braun Strowman?
From those guys.
Rusev maybe. Rusev may have. Yeah, he's strong enough.
I think Strowman's over.
Yeah, or Samoa Joe.
I mean, he's
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
and they all really have a chance. They all have a chance. I'm just saying, Braun looks like the guy really here.
Yeah, speaking of Samoa Joe, do you think he should get a title push eventually?
On SmackDown, I'd say yes.
Not on Raw.
Not on Raw. Raw's the land of the big man.
Yeah, he's on SmackDown, isn't he now? Samoa Joe?
He's on SmackDown, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. All right.
That's what
I think The Miz is going to win it, in my opinion. He's going to win the Money in the Bank. That's what I have him winning that.
I see Strowman or Balor or Rusev. But who knows? Usually they really surprise us. They really shock us.
Yeah.
Who it is?
Yeah, we definitely see some surprises because when I ran down
at this point, the underutilized guys in that match are Owens, Rude, and maybe Balor.
Right. Yeah, I mean they are undervalued, but I don't know, man. I mean this Money in the Bank.
Asuka is on the card. She's facing Carmella for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I thought they weren't going to put that on the card.
Yes.
I did not know that. Okay. Well, I mean, if that's the case, I don't expect her to win it. I think Carmella's going to win it. They're going to have her. I just don't think Asuka is going to win it just yet. They're going to they're going to put Carmella over. Right now, she's a good heel. She may not be. I mean, she's a decent in-ring performer, but she's not as. I'll say she's better in-ring performer than Alexa Bliss, in my opinion. She's a better wrestler than her.
Yeah. You're talking about Carmella?
Yeah, she's a better wrestler than
Alexa Bliss. I disagree with that. I
don't know about that. To me,
disagree with that.
I think here's the thing. I know they both come from an athletic background, but I think Carmella has a bit more athleticism than Alexa Bliss. I guess because she's more lighter on her feet. Than
definitely
Alexa.
Different styles. Alexa, I haven't seen much from her recently.
Yeah,
I don't know why that is.
I guess, like I said, the women's roster talent pool is so deep. Now it's got to the point, so it's going to be very challenging to get them all involved in storylines. Because we haven't seen much of Naomi in storylines as of late. I mean, with the exception of Lana, that's that colorful dancing storyline that they do because they both dancers. But the fact is that
Lana, Naomi, and Carmella.
Yeah, Baron Corbin. What happened to Baron Corbin, man? What's going on with that?
Oh yeah, Baron Corbin's on Raw. They were kind of really pumping him up with the vignettes. He hasn't been on the show. I don't think they're using talents every week now. I think and he's kind of off some live events. And to add to that, what's his name? Roman Reigns wasn't on Raw either.
Right. Well, I mean, that's true. Isn't he injured or something, or what's going on with him?
No, they just kept him off. They kept him off. They don't want those boos. They just don't want those boos.
Yeah, he's not even on the card. I guess that.
Oh yeah, he's not on the. Yeah.
I guess
that's interesting.
That is interesting. So it is what it is, man. So we'll see. We'll see how this card comes.
So how about so what do you see here? Asuka, Carmella. You see Carmella somehow retaining. I think it's too soon for her to lose.
Yeah, it's too soon. She's going to retain. If she's going to drop the belt, then she might drop it at SummerSlam in a rematch.
You see somebody interfering and costing Asuka this match?
I don't know. It could be possible, but if they have Asuka losing cleanly to Carmella, something is wrong there. I think Asuka is too strong. It's kind of like an Ultimate Warrior type of character. If you want to have Ultimate Warrior lose cleanly to somebody, you got to put somebody in there stronger, at least as strong as the Warrior.
She reminds you of Ultimate Warrior?
Nah, I mean, in a way,
she kind of reminds me of Tatanka for some reason.
Nah, in a way, what I mean by the Ultimate Warrior is that she is a larger like character. She's too strong as far as she's very strong, and the fact is that she's very good. I mean, aside from her stiffness and all that, she's a very good in-ring performer. She's just too skillful, and it's going to take somebody big to beat her cleanly, like Charlotte, for example. Charlotte is very good, so she's skill wise, she's very up there. She's up there with Asuka. So I can understand Charlotte, but somebody like Carmella, I just can't see Carmella beating her cleanly. I just can't see it. If she does,
no,
I'll be surprised. That. But to be fair though, I mean, Carmella did beat Charlotte cleanly, but Charlotte was kind of injured, so that was a bit of an angle. So I wouldn't call that clean in a way, but it was just that she was injured. So
right. So we've got the main event, the WWE Championship. We got AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura in a last man standing match. I think it's time for Shinsuke to get that belt. I mean,
I think it's
so many men. The question is, were they ever planning to put that belt on Nakamura to begin with?
I don't think they were going to plan to do it as a face. But now that he's got more attention as a heel, which I have to admit, even though I despise that heel turn, it's actually going to work. So I think it's time. And now that
I'll tell you what, if he doesn't win that belt now, I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, I think this will be his last chance. And and I think if he does win, then it'd be perfect for him to rematch Styles at SummerSlam if that's where they're going to go, and then have Styles put him over at SummerSlam, and then have him match up with Daniel Bryan. But the thing is that if they're going to do it with Bryan, I would suggest is that they hold off on that until WrestleMania, so that way Daniel Bryan can have his WrestleMania moment, winning the title back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know if they're going to put Bryan in the WrestleMania top moments again, but maybe it'll be somewhere down the card for mid-card title. I mean, I don't think Bryan's going to be the guy, but he's definitely getting a great push.
Yeah, he is. But like I said, Nakamura did come to WWE, hopefully to get that shot at Bryan. So
yeah, we'll see. That match will be interesting. So Money in the Bank takes place at the Allstate Arena on June 17th in Chicago. Right. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
What do you think of the quality of this card, and could this look better than it does on paper when it finally comes?
Well, it could look better than it is on paper, because on paper it doesn't seem too impressive. But but as far as the card is concerned, it could surprise us. Who knows? Because we've seen that happen before when we see matches on paper. It did look good, but it did surprise us, like the Ronda Rousey and that tag match at WrestleMania didn't look good on paper, but it turned out to be a very good card. I mean, very good match, probably the match of the night. So we'll see. That could be the possibility. Now, just keep this in mind though. Since this is going to be an Allstate Arena in Chicago, expect to see a Punk chance go around. Expect that to happen.
Yes.
That's going to drown out all the matches, in my opinion.
So you want to hit the news a little bit?
Yeah, let's talk about the news slightly. Not too
CM
much.
Punk cries while on the witness stand recounting the 2014 Royal Rumble. Speaking of CM Punk, so CM Punk cried while on the witness stand as he recounted the events that took place at Royal Rumble in 2014 in what ended up being his last ever performance for WWE. Punk got concussed by a clothesline delivered by Kofi Kingston during the match, and the instructions were for Punk to get eliminated immediately. Punk admits that he agreed to disagree with the instructions until WWE sent out Kane to get the injured Punk out of there. Answering questions from attorneys as reported, which had a reporter in the courtroom, Punk said that he felt helpless when Dr. Chris Amon, who was the ringside physician at the Rumble, told him, "What do you want me to do?" Punk did not blame Kofi at all for the incident and actually praised his athletic ability while on the stand. Day 4 of the trial ended with Punk answering questions while several exhibits were shown, including text messages between Punk and his wife, AJ Brooks. Punk stood by his comments and said that anything he said on the podcast was the truth, and the truth can hurt.
Okay. Well, I guess this all has something to do with the class action lawsuit that Punk and WWE has been added for a long time now. I guess.
Looks like Punk is doing well right now. I mean, it seems like it's going Punk's way so far.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know he's got that UFC career that he needs to figure out, but but the fact is that I don't know. He could possibly win it based off what you're telling me, but I don't know. I don't know, man, because he does seem adamant that he has no intentions of going back to that company under any circumstance. He doesn't care what it is. He's got to take him to court. He's going to do it. But who knows? You may never know. Vince is a very, very forgiving guy. He may welcome him back, just like many guys have taken him to court. He's welcomed him back like the Ultimate Warrior before he passed, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. So, I mean, could he really set himself up for being sabotaged? Perhaps. But, I mean, like I said, I mean, based off Vince's history of forgiving guys, I don't think that's the case. Because Vince is a businessman. He understands what's good for business. He has to bring back the guy, even though he despises him. He'll bring him back if it's good business. Well, you know, some people say, well, he didn't bring back the Macho Man Randy Savage.
No.
I think that was more personal than
Punk,
business.
I think he's going to do some New Japan. He's going to do Ring of Honor. Do I think it's impossible that he'll ever come back to WWE? At this point, it's not going to happen. They're in a lawsuit, but impossible, I wouldn't say that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I agree. I think it's not impossible. To be honest with you, I don't think.
Any other news bits you want to touch on? There's not too much of significance right now.
No, there's nothing really too much of a significance right now. Other than
Bret Hart graduated from college.
Well, he got an honorary degree. I heard about that.
Yeah, he got it's honorary, so he didn't. What does that mean, honorary?
Yeah, well, it's an honorary degree. Usually people are presenting that based off their, I think their certain component of their work and their achievement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't really mean much. It's just an honorary degree. It doesn't really mean anything. So it's just honorary.
I mean, did he go to school? Did he do this Bachelor's of Health and Physical Education, or does he just have the equivalent experience? Is that what they're saying?
No. I really don't know.
They just wanted to give him this degree.
Right. They just want to give him this degree. That's all.
I thought when I first read it, I thought he actually went to school.
No, he did go to school. It's just an honorary degree. That's all it is. It's not a course completion degree. It's not a college diploma. That's not what it is.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just just like a recognition. That's all it is. It's just like a legacy achievement award type of thing. That's all it is. It's nothing special.
Well, that doesn't seem as important then.
Right. It's not much. It's not really important. Yeah, it's not too much. It's not too much, man. I mean, other than the fact that John Morrison got married. Congratulations to him.
But that's not big news.
Yeah, it's not. People don't care about John Morrison these days.
I think The Miz and Ziggler and Ryder were there. So
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy. He's friends with all these WWE guys, and he's not there in the company. He's getting up there in age too, and he's a real good talent. So I think if he doesn't do another run, I don't think I think he should basically.
Yeah. Well, see, yeah, I'm looking into this Bret Hart degree. It looks like it's a actual degree. He got a degree in Bachelor's of Undergrad.
Well, it does say
Health
honorary. It
Physical-
does say honorary.
It does say honorary. Okay, so yeah, he didn't even take a course.
He should just do it. He has time.
Yeah, a lot of time in his hands. He's married again. He's got a lot of grandkids.
I don't know what he's dealing with health wise. He's had some concerns over the years, of course.
Is he still having strokes?
Oh, he's had botched hand surgery that he's been dealing with, and some problems with that. He's had prostate cancer. I know that.
Yeah, it's in remission right now, so that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, he was actually in the early stages of it, so that's good to come just in time. So those other stages, and so that's very very yeah, very very grateful that they caught just in time for it worse. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Brett's health over the years, man. Ugh, I don't know, man. It's really
He's not looking great. He's not looking great.
Yeah, let's
and also, what's going on with the WWE? Because I don't think they're on good terms. We haven't seen Brett at a WWE event in many years.
I don't think he's on bad terms with them. I think what it is that he just can't commit to the dates because of his health.
No, I've heard rumblings that they are on bad terms.
Oh, here we go again. Is it Brett Runoff?
They're not on good. I don't know exactly. I think we've discussed this on a previous podcast, but
yeah,
we've definitely discussed this, and I got to look into that.
Yeah, we have to, but what I've been hearing is more due to his health. He just hasn't really been able to.
Well, it's not like they want him to make. I'm just saying he's not even going to WrestleMania or the big events. He's not even there. He's really not affiliated with them much.
Right.
And Natalia, she's actually in her 40s, believe it or not.
Really? No, she's not. She's 36, 37.
Is she 36?
Yeah, she ain't that old. She ain't in her 40s.
She was a little bit older.
Nah. She's 36.
No, I think she's 41.
Let's look at it. Hold up.
Yeah.
Natalia she was born in 1981. Natalia Neidhart. Okay.
Oh yeah, you're right. She's 36.
That's what I thought. I mean, she's 36. Yeah. She just turned 36.
I think Velvet Sky's birthday is today, and she's of course married to
John Morrison.
She's of course married to Bubba Ray.
Who? Velvet Sky's married to him?
Bully Ray.
Bully Ray? I thought she was married to John Morrison. I thought John Morrison married her, or it was somebody else. All right, well, it is what it is. I mean, anyway, John Morrison got married, but obviously it's not Melina.
No, John Morrison got married to some other lady, but Velvet Sky is married to Bully Ray, the Dudleys.
Yeah, but I know he finally got over that curse, that Melina curse. I'm sure he's very grateful about that. But yeah, man, there ain't nothing else going on news-wise, so I guess we can go ahead and wrap this up right now, man. So it was a pleasure to do this again, man. We definitely, like I said, to all the to all the listeners, we definitely going to be doing this more periodically. We'll be more frequent. We're going to have weekly shows, and also with some uploads within weeks, every week as well. So, hell yes,
yeah, it was definitely a pleasure. This was great. This was a good 2-hour discussion, and of course we could go all night if we wanted to. I mean, there's so much.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're definitely going to pick it up next week, but we'll definitely have some video uploads in between as well. So guarantee you that.
Yes. And we still have the email. If you guys have any questions, I believe that's what is that, Daniel?
It's the email is if you have any questions or any feedback, it's beyond the Kayfabe channel at gmail.com. I repeat, it's beyond the Kayfabe channel at gmail.com.
And of course, please participate, please engage, and please give your thoughts on that. Are we going to get uploaded here on YouTube, on our YouTube channel again, and have these open comments?
Yes, we will. In fact, as soon as we end this broadcast, this will be archived and people can still comment on that if they want to. So other than that, this is Beyond the Kayfabe. We will be back next week. This is your host, Dan the Man Boxer, a.k.a. Dan S. And LAS is my co-host. We'll be back next week, people. We were out. Peace.
All right, guys. See you next time.